afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 2016 commencement exercises. Please allow me to present our Superintendent of Schools, Mary DeLye. Our Director of Administration and Finance, Paul Ruggiero. Our Administrator of Special Education, Mary Hood. Our Town Manager, Jeffrey Hull. Members of our school committee, Julie Broussard, Margaret Kane, Virginia Bonish, Mary Jane Burns, Manny Mulas, Stephen Bjork, and Thomas Talbot. Our high school administration, Principal Linda Peters, Assistant Principal Dennis Mahoney, and Assistant Principal Christopher Phillips. Members of our high school faculty, and finally, the members of the class of 2016.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you could all stand and look at the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the band to play the national anthem.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start the program today with Devin Langenfeld, the class president, who's going to address the class of 2016.
What's up, everyone? I would like to say congratulations to all of you. If you are here right now, you have finally graduated high school. Be proud of yourselves and of those around you, because I know sometimes it wasn't easy. Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank some people. First, I would like to thank the administration and faculty. You amazing people who had to deal with us for 4 years have helped us get to where we are right now and shaped us into the people we are today. You guys have worked harder than some of the people sitting here right now, teaching us the content in which we needed to learn to move on to college or the military or the workforce, and for rounding some student scores from a 59.2 to a 60, just so they can be here with us today and so you never have to see them again. I would also like to thank all of the parents out there on behalf of all of us. Thank you for pushing us to do our best over these past years. Preschool, you would help us with coloring in the lines. Then kindergarten came, and you needed to help us learn to read. And then we stepped it up a notch and moved on to elementary school, where you would help us with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, learning all of their states and their capitals, which I don't entirely know, so thanks, Mom and Dad, and helping us study for our vocabulary tests. And of course, I can't forget high school, when we would come home to diligently work on our homework like the well-rounded students we are, and here and there ask for a little help, where you would proceed to sit there puzzled asking, when the hell did they add the alphabet into math? And then just telling us to go Google it. Thank you guys for everything. When I realized graduation was coming up and I had to write a speech, I was terrified. But then I thought, what would Miss Nardo do? So I did some yoga. Turns out I'm not any good at yoga and all it does is stress me out. Sorry, Nardo, I know, bad social health. But then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna start getting into good college habits. I was gonna do my research, study my speech, and for once in my life, not procrastinate. However, senioritis hit me pretty hard this year, so at 6 o'clock this morning, I sat down at the kitchen table and I wrote my speech. I sat there and I did my research just like I have all 4 years of high school and just like how my parents had taught me. I Googled it. I Googled good graduation speech. I didn't put in great because just like my high school career, I was just shooting for average here. I read through an endless amount of speeches and decided it was time to actually start writing mine. So when I was sitting here trying to figure out how I wanted my speech to go, I knew I didn't want to take the traditional route, where I looked out over the crowd, looking you all in the eyes and saying how all I see is future doctors, lawyers, and presidents. So I decided that I would tell you the truth. What I see here today is a lot of smiling faces of people who, if they realize they are going to be in debt because of this college thing, shouldn't be smiling right now. But in all seriousness, I would like to thank all of you who sit here in front of me wearing these ridiculous-looking caps and gowns. It was truly an honor to represent all of you as your class president for 3 out of the 4 years. Over these past 4 years alone, I have come to learn more about each of you and would like to think that I have become a friend to all of you. If you happen to not think so, please stay quiet until the graduation ceremony is over so you don't ruin my speech. Though high school is like its own little world filled with drama and nothing like the real world, it has still somewhat helped us prepare for the real world. For example, we now know you can't ever bring a coffee into any building. Oh wait, that's just here? Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best example. But high school has taught us many things. It taught us a sense of community. Some may not agree with me here, but I believe we are very fortunate to have grown up where we did. I strongly believe in the American dream and that we live in a country where anything is possible. We aren't just fortunate for this great nation we live in, though. We are lucky to have grown up in such a great town like Wilmington. Around here, we build each other up, not tear each other down, and we aren't afraid to show our love. I can honestly say that I love all of you and want to see you all do amazing things in your life. And that is what makes us fortunate to live here. This here is the reason that I believe in the American dream, because if anyone is to truly achieve the American dream, it would be someone who sits here right before me. Because not only are we the best class to ever walk through the halls of Wilmington High School, we are the greatest class in Massachusetts, in New England, in all of the United States, and the whole world. Before I wrap this up, I need to ask you all a favor. As many of you know, I am extremely fond of taking selfies, so I was wondering if you could all get in a selfie with me, because I know I'd regret it if I didn't take one. Just so you all know, when I put this on Instagram later, it will be captioned #MadeWHSGreatAgain. I know in 30 years, when I look back on this picture, some things will have changed, but what won't have changed are the memories. And some of my greatest memories were made right here in Wilmington with all of you. I love you all and wish you all the best of luck in whatever it is you do. God bless you.
Thanks, Devin. Did you bring coffee with you today, by the way? Our next speaker is our town manager, Jeffrey Hull.
Good afternoon. First, let me extend a special congratulations to Jessica Nussbaum for her achievement of valedictorian for the class of 2016. My wife and I have had the great fortune of knowing Jessica's mom and dad, Kim and Jeff, since before she was born. Given their enthusiasm for lifelong learning, I'm not surprised by Jessica's achievement. My sincere wish for each and every one of you here today is that you find whatever it is that sustains you, that when you are engaged in it, you are completely absorbed by it and lose all sense of time, work that really doesn't seem like work at all, but is an expression of who you are, a contribution to your community and to the world. A contribution that makes you feel good about yourself. In short, that you discover your passion. Whether your next step is to pursue a college degree, obtain a job, join the military, or take some time to explore your options, create a path in pursuit of what you enjoy and what energizes you. We are all given this miracle of being here for good reason. Each of us has been granted the opportunity to discover our calling. So find your calling and muster the courage and physical and mental stamina to resolve to pursue your calling relentlessly. Some of you may have that sense of clarity right now, that you know exactly what you're going to be doing in the next 5 or 10 years and what you need to be doing today to get there. For many of you, it'll take some time, some trials, some course correction. Thomas Jefferson once said, quote, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to success is to always just try one more time," end quote. Finding your calling may take months, it may take years. Finding your calling will take tremendous energy, strength you didn't realize you had, focus, and sacrifice, but each one of you has a calling, and your obligation to yourself, to your community, and to the world is to find it. You may find that you take, quote, "the road less traveled" to discover your calling, but in the end, it's well worth it. Find time to embrace the victories and the setbacks along the way. The lessons that you learn along the way build the experience that will serve you for a lifetime. I encourage you to read a recently published book by Angela Duckworth called Grit. Her proposition is that achievement and success are attained by constancy of effort in pursuing your passion. Talent and intellect are helpful, but they are not determinant in success. She writes, quote, "Well, why are the highly accomplished so dogged in pursuing their dreams? For most, there was no realistic expectation of ever catching up to their ambitions. In their own eyes, they were never good enough. They were the opposite of complacent, and yet in a very real sense, they were satisfied being unsatisfied. Each was chasing something of an unparalleled interest and importance, and it was the chase as much as the capture that was gratifying. Even if some things they had to do were boring or frustrating or even painful, they wouldn't dream of giving it up. Their passion was enduring. In sum, no matter what the domain, the highly successful had the kind of ferocious determination that played out in two ways. First, these exemplars were usually resilient and hardworking. They not only had determination, they had direction. It was this combination of passion and perseverance that made high achievers special. In a word, they had grit. I know I have no authority here to give assignments, but your assignment for the next several years will be to find your passion and pursue it with grit, compassion, and good character. All the best.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mrs. Julie Broussard, our chairperson of the Wilmington School Committee.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Wilmington School Committee, we are so happy to celebrate this milestone with you. Our heartfelt congratulations. As I was preparing my remarks for today, I was reflecting on the usual traditions of graduations. I have to admit, I started tearing up as the tune Pomp and Circumstance ran through my head. Why do I respond this way when my own child isn't even graduating today? Why? Because we, all think of you as our children. Everything that we do on the school committee is keeping you all in mind, all the children of Wilmington. The often used African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," is so fitting for graduation. Here you are today on the brink of adulthood. You're surrounded by your family, your friends, your neighbors, your teachers literally surrounding you, your coaches. These are all the people that have had a hand in raising you. We celebrated your successes, we drove you to practice, We cheered you on the sidelines. We admired your artwork. We applauded your performance, even when it was on the recorder. We fed you. We let you know when you were out of line. We are your village. We are excited for the future ahead of you. We look forward to seeing your name on the Dean's List, reading your college graduation announcement in the town crier, dancing at your wedding, and marveling at the birth of your children. Dream big and make good choices. Aren't these the things your parents have said to you many, many times? I'm saying them again to you today. When times get tough, and there will be tough times, rely on your village to get you through it. We are here for you. So congratulations on your graduation today from the Wilmington School Committee. Forgive me if I get a little teary, because my kids are graduating. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Prasad. I'd like to have Superintendent Delai.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues, parents and families, and members of the class of 2016. It is an honor to be here today to offer my congratulations to all of you. You've worked very hard over these last many years, and you've certainly earned this honor. We are all very proud of you. It seems fitting to begin my remarks today by recognizing a few very special individuals who will be leaving us at the end of this school year. First, I would like to recognize Ed Harrison, Athletic Director at Wilmington High School, who will be retiring after 30 years of service to the Wilmington Public Schools. There is no question that Ed has touched the lives of thousands of student athletes in the time that he has been here in Wilmington and helped to ensure that students had an opportunity to learn what true teamwork really is and to build confidence and character. Thank you for your service, and you will be missed. Next, behind me, I would like to recognize Mary Hood, Administrator of Special Education, who will be leaving us this year to begin a new chapter in her career. We thank you for your 17 years of service to Wilmington Public Schools and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I would also like to recognize behind me Dennis Mahoney, Wilmington High School Assistant Principal, who will be leaving us to take on the role of Principal of Winchester High School. I can think of no better person to assume this leadership role. Thank you for your 6 years of service to Wilmington High School. We wish you all the best, but please don't expect us to cheer for the sachems. Thank you. On a different note, I would like to offer a sincere thank you to Mrs. Peggy Kane, who stepped down this year as school committee chair after an unprecedented 9 years of service to our community in this role. You have demonstrated steadfast leadership and commitment to making Wilmington Public Schools the best that they can be. I'm happy that you will remain on the committee for another 2 years. Thank you for your long service as the chair of this committee. These individuals have provided our school community with exemplary leadership during their years of service in their roles. They are outstanding role models for all of us. But they are not the only role models that we need to recognize here today. Let's also recognize all of the teachers and support staff that have contributed to making you the individuals that you are today. Every day, they were the guide by your side, modeling the skills and attitudes you need to be successful and imparting to you the love of learning that is the key to your future success. Please join me in acknowledging and thanking all of them. In particular, I'd like to recognize two members of the Wilmington High School staff who are retiring this year. Mr. Paul Gately, special education teacher who has been with us for the past 4 years, and Mrs. Georgia Payne, your cafeteria manager who has been with us for 22 years. We thank you for your service to Wilmington High School. Next, we need to recognize your parents and guardians. They are your first and forever role models. They taught you to tie your shoes, to ride a bike, to drive a car, not without its fair share of battles, no doubt. They helped you with your math homework, not without a fair share of tears, I'm thinking, coached you through difficult peer relationships, and shared with you all the struggles that they went through when they were your age. Let's recognize them for their role in making you the individuals that you are today. Finally, I would like to recognize one other role model that all of you have benefited from, and that is your principal, Miss Linda Peters. I can think of no individual who better exemplifies commitment to students. Her kind and caring way, her constant encouragement and support to students, her unwillingness to give up on any child. At the end of most days, she can be found in her office tutoring or counseling students. I see her light on in her office many evenings as she attends to the operations of her school. Most Sunday afternoons, you will find her planning for the week and reaching out to parents and families and staff so they know what is happening each week. Your unwavering dedication does not go unnoticed, and your students are so fortunate to have you as their principal. Please join me in thanking Ms. Peters. The fact of the matter is, you all have role models that you will remember fondly as you look back upon these years. What is important to note is that as you transition from Wilmington High School student to Wilmington High School graduate, you are now afforded the opportunity to be a role model. That could not be more evident than when you all walked through the hallways of your elementary schools on Thursday of this past week. The youngsters lining the corridors looked up at you in awe. You represent what they want to be someday, and you provided them with incredible inspiration and motivation to continue to work hard so that someday they will have the opportunity to walk through the hallways of their schools and be looked upon as role models. You are heroes to them. Hundreds of likes and retweets on social media with students in complete admiration of you and your accomplishments. One student posted, "Jackson Gillis gave me the high five. I'm never washing my hand again." You are stars to them. It's important to remember that. It's equally important to remember your role models. I'd like to share with you a story of one of my role models. When I met this individual 28 years ago, he was just 2 years old and as sweet a child as one could ever imagine. He happens to be my nephew. When he was 4, we took him to Disney World for the first time. The whole way to the park, he talked about 2 things: gummy worms and a Mickey Mouse balloon. We used these things as incentives for good behavior, but honestly, he didn't need them. About an hour into our day, with good behavior under his belt, we purchased him a big bag of gummy worms. He was ecstatic. As we made our way through the park, we happened upon a bench where a young boy about his age sat crying. My nephew sat beside him and asked him why he was so sad. The little boy replied that he had lost his mom and dad. While my brother and sister-in-law set to the task of finding someone in the park to help find his parents, I stayed with my nephew and witnessed the most amazing display of empathy. Here was my nephew who had talked about these gummy worms for 3 days, reaching into the bag to grab a handful of worms. I figured he was about to hand these to the little boy, but instead he kept the handful for himself and gave the whole bag to the little boy. I was stunned. That wasn't the only amazing thing that happened that day. Remember the Mickey Mouse balloon? Well, about 2 hours into our day, we found him his balloon. He was so proud of that ribbon tied to his wrist with Mickey bobbing in the air overhead. We wandered about the park for another hour or so before heading into the Hall of Presidents, not exactly the highlight of the day for a 4-year-old. We were shuttled into a round room for a short video, and in that room, my nephew met an adorable little girl, probably 2 or 3 years old. You can imagine what happened next. She took a real shine to his balloon. Hand over hand, he grabbed the ribbon and brought the balloon down to her level. Now, you can imagine that that little girl was not very gentle with his balloon, but not once did my nephew express concern that she might pop it. Instead, he gently coaxed her to be careful. Finally, when the movie ended, my nephew stood up to leave and the balloon shot back up into the air. The little girl began to sob. Her mom tried to explain to her that it was not her balloon, it belonged to my nephew. My nephew watched, and you could see the tortured look on his face. After a minute or two, he untied the knot from his wrist and handed the balloon over to the little girl, who immediately stopped crying. The little girl's mother tried to refuse his generosity, but he said to her, "It's all right, I had it long enough." I'm not going to lie, I was in tears and in awe. I could not fathom that a child of this age could have so much compassion and empathy in that little body. Later, when I tried to praise him for what he had done that day with both of those little ones, he said, "It was nothing special." Wow, empathy and humility. Fast forward to the age of 14, when unfortunately, due to complicated life circumstances, he began to make some bad decisions. Those decisions led to substance abuse and eventually incarceration. Upon his release, he found himself homeless and thousands of dollars in debt. You see, in Florida, you are assessed a fee to compensate the state for the cost of your incarceration. Eventually, he found the road to recovery in a transitional home and got clean. I reconnected with him 6 years ago when he was living in a highly depressed town outside of Birmingham, Alabama, living with his girlfriend, her children, and her children's children. They had very little in the way of furnishings. Their dining room table was literally a large box with a tablecloth over it. But he was brimming with optimism because he had people who loved him, a roof over his head, and he had found a job in a factory that produced kitchen knives. I insisted that he allow me to help him. As you can imagine, he refused, saying, "Aunt Mary, I need to do this on my own." Once again, this young man taught me a lesson, this time in perseverance. In time, he learned about welding and took an instant liking to this trade. He worked hard at night to obtain his GED and then enrolled in trade school to obtain his welding credentials. Eventually, armed with the ability to earn a living as a welder, he made his way back to Florida, reconciled with his parents, paid off his debts to the state of Florida, got a job as a welder, met a wonderful woman, and found a house that they both now call home. He is now working for a company that constructs rides for 2 of the largest theme parks in Florida. Seems like that first trip to Disney had a big impact on both of us. In 2014, we reunited as a family for Christmas in Florida. We returned to Disney together, and over dinner I asked my nephew how he was able to get through all those difficult years. He said to me, "I just always believed that everything would be okay. If I could get through those worst moments detoxing in a jail cell, I could get through anything. There are people that had it worse than me." Glass half full thinking, right? Even at 28, he was still teaching me life lessons, this time the power of optimism. He is my role model because he has taught me the importance of humility, optimism, perseverance, and empathy. It seems fitting that when you take the first word of each letter, it spells hope. He embodies hope. He never lost hope for a better future. To this day, he still maintains his hope for an even better future as he looks to perhaps get married, have kids, and instill in his children the same values that he holds dear. Hope is what I have for each and every one of you as you leave us today to begin your new journey. Before you lay an endless array of possibilities. The direction you choose will ultimately be defined by your passions, your interests, and your values. Ultimately, you will ask yourself not, what do I want to do, but what problems do I want to solve? Researchers tell us that each of you is likely to have as many as 7 careers in your lifetime. They also tell us, believe it or not, that you are 10 to 20% more intelligent than all of us. You are more capable than any of us to tackle the complex challenges that confront us. Doing so will require hard work, but also a strong commitment to your values. That is the advice I give to you today. Let your values be your guide. Let hope not just be a word to describe your desire for a more positive future. Let hope represent those core values that will guide you in your efforts to make the world a better place. Humility, optimism, perseverance, and empathy. Be humble. Lead with humility. Do what you want to do, not for the recognition, but for the contribution to your world. Be optimistic. Never before have we had the resources, the technology, the intelligence to solve problems as we do today. You are part of the generation that will make this world a better place. Believe it, know it, make it so. Persevere, work hard. Ask for a stronger back, not a lighter load. Don't give up. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Demonstrate empathy. Be kind. The kindness you show to others will be returned to you. More than anything, be yourself. I congratulate all of you for getting here today. I thank you for your service to our community. I wish you all the best. Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you, Mr. Lai. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming this afternoon to help honor and to celebrate Wilmington High School's class of 2016. To you, the graduates, this is it. This is your moment, your day, your graduation. When many of you signed out with me a few weeks ago, you said you were sad but excited. Some of you said bittersweet. It is all mixed up, those feelings of happy and sad, maybe even a little scared, and maybe, for some of you, a little relieved. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be. I think we all experience that mix of feelings and emotions whenever we are moving on or facing change. You are moving on. That is a good thing. I wonder how you see yourselves in the years to come. What do you dream of becoming? What do you hope to accomplish? My hope is that you leave Wilmington High School with as much confidence in yourselves that I have in each and every one of you. I have no doubt that there is a future doctor sitting in front of me. I have no doubt that one of you will someday be a successful attorney. I can say with confidence that some of you will open your own business, maybe write a book, or help to make scientific advancements. Among you, there may be a future chef, a future journalist, an engineer, a future police officer, a nurse, a teacher, or maybe, just maybe, a professional athlete. You have already accomplished more than you realize, and I have no doubt there are great things that lie ahead of you. My hope is that no matter what you become or what you accomplish, it is the who that you are that will always make the difference. Take every opportunity to transform your what into your who. Connect with people and not things. Give of yourself in any way that you can. Stay true to your values and always be guided by the respect that you have been shown and the dignity with which you have been treated. The what that you do will never be as important as the who that you are. Over the past several years, I've been asked to speak publicly a lot more than I'm used to. However, I've always found some comfort on relying on poetry to help guide me through it. With that in mind, I've written the following poem for all of you. To the class of 2016. Where has the time gone? 4 years at WHS. The books you read, the papers you wrote, the problems you solved, all done to contribute to your success. But it is time. Time to move forward, time to say goodbye. Easy for some, a little harder for others, but it is time. Time to become WHS alumni. Where will you go? What will you do? Your plans, your future, your dreams, I hope they all come true. What will I remember about you, the class of 2016? Greeting you as freshmen, signing you out as seniors, and so many fond memories in between. It will be more than the math and history that will shape your life. It will be the friendships, the triumphs, and even the moments of strife. Take your passion and make it what you live. But don't forget to look for those opportunities, those chances in life to make a difference, to connect, and to give. It is time, beyond the homework, beyond every test. You are finally ready to leave. I wish you only and nothing but the best. I'd like to end by offering you this quote as you begin to embark on the next chapter in your lives. Life is too short to wake up with regrets, so love the people who treat you right, forget about those who don't. Believe everything happens for a reason. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said life would be easy. They just promised it would most likely be worth it. I do hope that Harvey McKay's message resonates with all of you as you look back on your years as a student at Wilmington High School. I hope tomorrow, when you get out of bed for the first time as a high school graduate, you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you gave it your all. Challenges have and will continue to make you stronger. Take chances on yourself no matter what the challenge. Know that life will not be easy, but that every giggle, every tear, every triumph, every setback and disappointment will all be worth it. You have nothing but bright futures ahead of you, so give it your all. Continue to make you and your families proud. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Thank you for being you. As always, you know where I am if you need me. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you. We're going to present some awards to honor some of our students today. Our first award goes to our class essayist, Kimberly Lifton.
Okay, so now that we've found the speech, we can begin. I know what you're all thinking. The seats hurt and speeches are long. This one is not long, so don't worry. The poet Robert Frost once wrote, "Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. We all begin our lives along a path. When we are born, we have no choice as to where we begin in the forest of life. Every human being is born into his or her own unique situation. It is how we choose to maneuver the path we have been set upon that truly matters. There is no predetermined course in life and no one right way. At times, each and every one of us comes along a fork in the road or discovers a little-known path that deviates from the traditional route that we have already set on, the one society has deemed normal. Many times, these new ways of traveling along the path of life are found by making mistakes or stumbling along obstacles. However, they are often what make life unique and magnificent. I encourage you to make mistakes and find these little-known paths, to overcome the obstacles that life introduces, to not be afraid to stray from the obvious, and to take the path less traveled. You never know, an awfully big adventure may await, and it will make all the difference.
Thanks, Kim. Our next award goes to the class of 2016 salutatorian Vincent Pietropalo.
Hello and welcome to the teachers, staff, students, and family members here today. I'm normally not one to give speeches or try to be the center of attention. When I started school here in freshman year, I was so shy I barely spoke at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure the number of words in this speech is actually greater than the number of words I said in freshman and sophomore years combined. But as I have grown and matured throughout my time at Wilmington High School, I've come to gain a greater confidence that allows me to give this speech today. I would not have been able to become the person I am today without the guidance of the family members, friends, and teachers who have been there for me throughout the years. In particular, I would like to thank my mom for always encouraging me to do better and trying her hardest not to be my substitute teacher most of the time. She supports me in all of my endeavors and goes out of her way to make sure I know she cares about me. I would also like to thank my dad for inspiring me and taking me on trips around the world, allowing me to experience different cultures and understand different perspectives. He has helped me to learn things that cannot be taught in a classroom. I'm certainly not the only one who has grown up as a person during these 4 years at WHS. We have all changed tremendously in our own ways. Each of us has grown academically, athletically, socially, and emotionally, from children into adults. Congratulations to all of you on having reached maturity and on the numerous achievements you have had along the way. Many of the achievements our class has had are actually quite impressive. Our girls' soccer team, girls' field hockey team, and boys' ice hockey team all went to states. Our girls' winter track team finished first in the Middlesex League, and our baseball and softball teams finished second in the Middlesex League. A number of athletes from a variety of different teams have also been named League All-Stars. The Model United Nations Club managed to double the size of its membership from last year. The Mock Trial Club went undefeated for the entire year. And DECA was finally able to dig itself out of debt. Several individual students have also received awards for their writing skills and literacy in foreign languages. While we can still go back to our family and friends for guidance, as adults, we will have to start making our own decisions and take charge of our lives. Our futures are up to us now. For many of us, it will be difficult to accept this change. Nostalgia for the people we once knew and fear towards the unknown future can be difficult to overcome. However, this future is not to be feared, but embraced. We will find new friends, make new memories, and continue to grow as people throughout our lives. Personally, I am eager to experience the liberating feeling of making my own choices. I hope that soon all of us will be able to overcome our fear and embrace this exciting new chapter in our lives. Although I may not be fully qualified to do so, I'd like to give you a bit of advice before you embark on this next stage of your life. As someone who has felt the pressure to succeed for most of my life, I want you to know that you do not always have to be the best at everything. Chances are that most of us will go on to lead pretty normal lives. Very few people can go on to be powerful, rich, or famous. That is just how the world works. Instead of striving to be the most successful, strive to be happy. Pursue what you truly enjoy in life, without regard for what others think you should try to achieve. For many of you, success and happiness will coincide, and that is okay too. Just remember, you don't have to become president to live a fulfilled life. Thank you, and good luck to you all.
And our next award goes to our class of 2016 valedictorian, Jessica Nussbaum.
One of the most common fears is public speaking. While up here, I feel intimately familiar with this fear, yet I still chose to speak, knowing I'd probably be bright red, trembling, and ready to jump off the stage. A moment that should be an honor to me feels like a death sentence. So why would I still speak? The answer is simply because I have been given a voice. Somehow we all made it here to this moment, whether we were the loud mouth being reprimanded to keep quiet, or the mousy voice being urged to speak up. No matter which one we were, no matter which role we embraced in the classroom, with our friends, with our family, we got here to this moment to each earn a diploma from Wilmington High School together. We did not get here by staying silent, though. We each found our own way to represent ourselves at school and at home, whether we asked questions or wrote papers, drew cartoons or took photographs. Every person graduating today left their version of their voice somewhere in Wilmington with some teacher or parent or friend. We were never alone, enveloped by silence. Instead, we have always been together, surrounded by impassioned voices and encouraging minds. We take this thought, the idea that our voice had an impact on not only our success, but the continuing successes of others around us, and extend it forward. Why is it important to remember that we left a mark in some way? Because we need to continue to do so. We need to keep speaking, writing, and creating. We need to take our hands, our mouths, and our eyes as tools for mass creation, the creation of understanding, of power, and of growth. By sharing, we are reminding ourselves and others of our values that we hold close. We want to expose problems, correct injustices, and create discussions. Our voice will always give us the ability to change what is going on around us. I know from hearing what you all say, seeing what you all share, and reading what you all write, that you all have something you are passionate about, something you want to see changed. Sometimes it's within the school or community, but sometimes it's bigger. Sometimes it's speaking up for people who can't, people who have been beaten down by others, or people who are stuck in a system that fails to recognize them. Whatever you deliver is going to have worth. A simple photograph you take can become the iconic image of a movement. A brief quote you say can become the triumphant chant of a crusade. Tuli Zuma said, "Every word I carry is another stone to put into place in the foundation that I am building, and I urge everyone sitting here to keep building upon their foundation. Our voices, loud or quiet, bold or hesitant, found easily or with struggle, need to be used. That is why, despite my own fear and discomfort, I chose to still speak today, to remind you that when you have the opportunity to use your voice, make it heard."
Every year, the senior class elects a Teacher of the Year. I am very proud to introduce the 2016 choice for Teacher of the Year, Ms. Lisa Bellavia.
There's my mom. Thanks. Good afternoon, graduates, families, administration, and Wilmington High School faculty. I'm going to cut this down because I see the glazed looks in some of your eyes, so if it gets jumpy. It did take me forever to write this speech. So eventually I thought about what I would want one of my teachers to tell me as I sat sweating in polyester, a ball of anticipation and partial boredom. So I took to my bookshelves. I have learned some of the most valuable life lessons from books, but there is one in particular I have found myself guided by since 1991. It's one of my favorite stories, Rudyard Kipling's Rikki Tikki Tavi from The Jungle Book, now playing in theaters. In the story, Rikki Tikki Tavi, upon being separated from his family, sets out to live his life according to the following adage: run and find out. Now, I wouldn't be a very good English teacher if I didn't overanalyze that simple statement or find meaning where maybe there isn't any, but this simple motto is the heart of my message. This message is also fitting because I'm pretty sure every single one of you runs track. Run and find out. You'll have to pardon the simplicity of my next statement. As far as I see it, we run towards things or we run away from things. Either direction allows us to find out what we are made of. The new people you are going to meet may make you uncomfortable because they aren't anything like your friends from home. Your roommates may have few to zero hygienic habits that will also make you uncomfortable. New professors and new coursework may be so challenging that you find yourself questioning why this institution accepted you in the first place, and I speak from experience. These realities and so many more may tempt you to run away. Should you choose that option, you risk a nagging suspicion chasing at your heels. Will I ever be able to do X, Y, Z? Did I make the right decision? What if I had stayed? It is easier to avoid realities that make us uncomfortable, but you do not want to start the habit of running away, only to constantly be looking over your shoulder in regret or uncertainty. The flip side of this, of course, is to run towards and to run into, to chase your trouble until you catch up to it and eventually outrun it. Have the tenacity to jump in and flail a little bit, but persevere anyway. Find out what you are made of by immersing yourself in this phase of your life. Find out that you can adapt and conquer and that you can deal with your roommate's questionable hygiene. Moving forward invariably means you'll leave something behind. My advice to you is to avoid getting tripped up. Focus on where you are headed. Of course, it's okay to look over your shoulder and smile back warmly at what you see. Know that everyone and everything that is getting smaller in the distance has prepared you for where you're going. Chances are we are all smiling warmly and waving back at you. What stays behind does get smaller, but it can loom large. It could trip you up, make you hesitate, and prevent you from finding out just what you are capable of and just how far you can go. The caliber and weight of this honor, the Teacher of the Year, is not lost on me. This is likely the last time I will see and speak to many of you, and to me that holds more significance than anything really. For 4 years, many of you have made my job ridiculously easy, ridiculous, and dare I say, fun. The sheer volume of your voices and the reverberation of your wonderful personalities will never be matched, and you have left a deafening silence in your wake. You are bright, you are capable, and I found that teaching young people like you 4 years in a row is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I am incredibly thankful for. A brand new phase of your life awaits. Run into it full speed. Congratulations, class of 2016.
Are you ready? Okay, it is time. It is time for us to present you with your diplomas. Mr. Mahoney and Mr. Phillips will assist.
Bradford Michael Aldrich. Melody Sue Almeida. William Scott Amon. Jessica K. Arbeli. Jessica Lynn Backman. Deshaun Baang Bagayo. Connor James Bailey. Echo Siobhan Ball. Francesca Sarah Baroni. Emily Martha Bartnicki. Kayla Marissa Bavin. Summer Alice Beals. Timothy Sean Benoit. Moesha Jane Madgid Beret. Catherine Eleanor Bischoff. Catherine Elizabeth Blair. Amanda Jean Boyle. Morgan Ashley Breen. Emily Michelle Burke. Marissa Butler. Caitlin Carol Callahan. Stephen Joseph Canada. Brian Christopher Kavanaugh. Isabel Marie Signa. Michaela Marie Clark. Brianna Carol Coccoluto. Sydney Jean Conigan. Skylar Jacob Cook. Christina Elizabeth Cox. Mary Elizabeth Crow. Julia Maureen Curran. Vanessa Rose D'Angelo. Kelly Nicole Dankees. Ian Christopher Dawson. Michaela Elizabeth Donahue. Patrick James Dunphy. Thomas Cole Dunnett. Ian Yarel Falcon Rivera. Jocelyn Surrett Ferraro. Caitlin Taylor Ferreira. Madison Rose Finn. Brad Matthew Fisher. Nicole Lynn Fletcher. Quentin Donald Foley. Jacqueline Taylor Frazier. Christina Ann Frusciano. Matthew Joseph Gagnon. Michael Gregory Gake. Kaylee Rose Gallagher. Brittany Ann Garrard. Edward Henry Gear. Joshua Graham Genther. Jackson Kennedy Gillis. Jake Robert Girardi. Patrick Sean Giroux. Stephen William Godfrey. Daniel Raymond Goodwin. Yeah. Gabriel Goodwin. Teresa Marie Gracia. Jordan May Granara. Rachel Lynn Galado. Andrew Michael Hanlon. Cayman Jean Hardy. Robert Peter Hartso. Olivia Marie Hill. Alex Patrick Hiltz. Colin Daniel Hoffman. Montana Ray Howlett. Curtis Jean Francois. Mark Garrett Jeanette. Brent Nicholas Johnson. Justin Patrick Canali. Lily Ann Keating. Brian Daniel Kelly. Joseph Francis Kelly. Kayla Ann Coster. Brianna Louise Coombe. Devin John Langenfeld. Stephen Scott Langenfeld. Luis Angelo Lafarello. Christine Lee. Victoria Lee. Justin Tyler Ledger. Matthew Albert Leskow. Mary Catherine Lesperance. Jessica Seal Lifton. Kimberly J. Lifton. Jillian Noel Little. Emily Elizabeth Loud.
Samantha Michelle McInnes. John Harrison Maga. Devin Nicole Malatesta. Gina Elaine Marson. Samantha Jordan Martinetti. Kira Elizabeth Martins. Julia Ray Masiello. Fox Christian Maxwell. Casey Rebecca McFall. Courtney Elizabeth McGondal. Morgan Elizabeth McIntyre. Megan Elizabeth McMahon. Matthew Michael McMurray. Melissa Ann McNamara. Matthew Jeremy Medeiros. Erin Marie Massarian. Harrison George Middleton. Theodore Gary Mealy. Charles Paul Mingella.
I'll try.
Carolyn Nicole Nassif. Christina Rose Natola. Kyle Brunel Nelson. Eva Margaret Nessline. Jessica Hannah Nussbaum. Callie Rose O'Connell.
Congratulations.
Christopher Robert O'Connell. Erin Sandra O'Connor. Elizabeth Christine Olson. Alexa Gray Papastasis. Mira Jitesh Patel. Christopher Thomas Patrone. Jonathan Mario Perella. Alexa Marie Peroni. Olivia Isabel Petrucci. Julia Pham. Vincent Pietropaolo. Samantha Elizabeth Pitsy. Nicholas William Poley. Alex Stephen Popa. Erica Ashley Podvelis. Nicole Brianna Rigo. Megan Elizabeth Rind. Kevin Randolph Richardson. Samantha Lynn Rideout. Alexandria Joe Riley. Caitlin Shea Riley. Stacy Elizabeth Robichaud. Megan Elizabeth Rodenheiser. Anthony Alexander Raleigh. Anne Sophia Romanzo. Valerie Ann Rose. Katasia Ross Lopes. Michaela Rita Russell. Nicholas Ryan Russo. Stephanie Nicole Santini. Taylor Nora Santry. Timothy Victor Scalona. Colin Michael Scanlon. Siobhan Rachel Scanlon. Taylor Marie Scott. Lillian Abigail C. Audrey Helena Cerna. Jamie Renee Shanning. Noah Michael Edward Shanning. Daniel Richard Smalley. Kelly Nicole Souza. Quentin Aiden Soy.
You did it.
Rachel Ann Spada. Evan James Sperlinga. Jamie Marie Spinazzola. Christina Josephine Spinos.
Congratulations, Spur.
Matthew Lewis Spur. Jack Mitchell Stanford. Eric David Steves Jr. Charlotte Ann Sulik. Bridget Edith Sullivan. Maeve Evelyn Sullivan. Shannon Elizabeth Sullivan. Justine Michelle Surrett. Tristan Shay Serpernant. Joseph Anthony Tassoni. Joseph George Tavanese. Natalia Silva Terra. Daniel Lewis Tatro. Zachary Scott Thomas. Katie Elizabeth Thompson. Sean Thomas Tivnan. Ryan Patrick Tonra. Ruju Vivek Trivedi. Shane Dale Trout. Kiara Valera. Theodore Robert Veerman. Craig Michael Venezia. Cora Mia Vitali. Tyler James Von Kale. Allison Lee Wadland. Cole Matthew Walsh. Ashley Elizabeth Warren. Neil Richard Whitehead. Ryan Michael Williams. Allie Marie Woodland. Matthew Francis Woods. Trevor Zane Worthington. Cameron Chung-Fung Ewan. Connor Thomas Zaya. Julia Elizabeth Gake. Lawrence Mark Gordon. If you want to get your cameras ready. All the graduating students, please rise. Please move your graduation tassels from your right to your left. Having met all the standards set forth by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, together with the graduation requirements of the Wilmington Public Schools, I now present you the Wilmington High School class of 2016. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful evening.